In this podcast episode featuring Macken Murphy, the discussion revolves around the concept of facial attractiveness and what makes a face attractive. Macken Murphy delves into various factors that contribute to facial attractiveness, including averageness, symmetry, and facial femininity. Averageness is considered attractive as it represents a face that is the result of a composite of many faces superimposed on each other. This average face is often perceived as more attractive than individual faces. Symmetry is another key factor in attractiveness, with symmetrical faces being preferred as they are seen as a signal of underlying developmental qualities and health. Facial femininity in women is highly attractive to men, with men responding positively to stereotypically feminine features. On the other hand, facial masculinity in men does not always have a clear preference, with some studies suggesting a slight preference for facial femininity in men as well. The masculinity trade-off hypothesis posits that women may prefer less masculine men for long-term relationships to avoid potential negative traits associated with hypermasculinity. The discussion also touches on the importance of facial hair, with heavy stubble often being preferred as it signals masculinity while also showing attentiveness to grooming. The preference for heavy stubble may be influenced by cultural and socio-ecological factors. Personal grooming and style choices can serve as signals of conscientiousness, reliability, and the ability to invest time and resources into self-care. The conversation explores the significance of facial attractiveness in signaling mate value. Beauty is viewed as a shortcut signal of mate value, indicating underlying qualities that are important in a potential partner. Eye features such as limbal rings and clear sclera are considered attractive, while eye color preferences vary and may be influenced by frequency-dependent selection effects. Evolutionary psychology is described as the intellectual child of cognitive psychology and evolutionary biology, focusing on the evolved psychological mechanisms that influence human behavior. On the other hand, behavioral ecology applies the principles of studying animal behavior to humans, emphasizing the role of the environment in shaping behavior. The conversation explores the idea that attractiveness is not solely determined by physical appearance, but is influenced by various factors such as dominance, reliability, agency, and consistency. While there may be preferences for certain traits like muscularity in men and body shape in women, the concept of averageness is highlighted as a key factor in attractiveness. The discussion also touches on the concept of the Goldilocks zone, where moderate levels of certain traits are considered attractive. The environmental security hypothesis is introduced as a theory that suggests mate preferences, including body size and shape, may be influenced by the local socioeconomic environment. Studies have shown that preferences for body size can fluctuate based on factors such as resource scarcity and abundance. The conversation highlights the malleability of preferences over time and within individuals. The discussion also touches on the waist-to-hip ratio as a marker of attractiveness in women. Murphy explains how a more masculine figure in women with a lower waist-to-hip ratio may be preferred as it signals reproductive potential and fertility. However, the conversation also touches upon the challenges women face in maintaining this ideal shape after childbirth and as they age. The discussion highlights the complexity of attractiveness preferences and how they may vary based on evolutionary and cultural factors. The conversation then shifts to height preferences in men and women. Murphy explains that men tend to prefer taller women, while women prefer men who are taller than themselves but not excessively tall. The discussion explores how height preferences can vary based on individual and cultural factors, with taller individuals often being perceived as more attractive. The conversation also touches upon the societal implications of height preferences and how they may impact dating and mating dynamics. The conversation delves into the flexibility of socioeconomic preferences in mate selection. Murphy discusses how women's preference for socioeconomically successful men may be influenced by factors such as education and income levels. The conversation also explores the concept of hypergamy and hypogamy in mate selection and how these preferences may evolve over time. Murphy expresses optimism about the potential for shifts in gender equality to influence mate preferences and relationship dynamics. The conversation touches upon the challenges faced by individuals in modern dating, particularly in relation to socioeconomic status and educational attainment. Murphy shares insights from his observations at a high-end social club, where women express difficulties in finding partners who match their level of education and income. Murphy discusses the myth of body count and its association with negative relationship outcomes. He explains how historical promiscuity can be a predictor of difficulties in long-term relationships, particularly in the context of sociosexuality. The conversation emphasizes the importance of understanding individual differences and contexts when considering the impact of past sexual experiences on relationship dynamics. Murphy also touches upon the optimal number of past sexual partners and how preferences may vary among individuals. Murphy explains that physical attractiveness plays a significant role in mate selection. Men and women have different preferences when it comes to physical attributes. Women tend to be more selective in choosing a mate, while men are generally attracted to a wider range of women. This difference in selectivity can be attributed to evolutionary factors. Men are often attracted to women who exhibit signs of youth and fertility, such as lighter hair colors. On the other hand, women may prefer men who display traits of maturity and stability, which could explain why they tend to choose slightly older partners. Age gaps in relationships can vary depending on cultural norms and individual preferences. When it comes to tattoos, Murphy discusses how they can influence perceptions of attractiveness. While men with tattoos may be seen as more masculine and dominant, women do not necessarily find them more attractive. This discrepancy could be due to the trade-offs associated with tattoos, such as concerns about long-term commitment and parenting abilities. In a study conducted in France, women with tattoos were perceived as more sexually available by men. This perception could be influenced by societal stereotypes and cultural norms surrounding tattoos. Overall, the attractiveness of women with tattoos may vary depending on individual preferences and societal attitudes. Murphy also touches on sociosexual behavior and how it can impact mate selection. Men who engage in promiscuous behavior may face negative social consequences, while women may be judged more harshly for similar behavior. This double standard highlights the importance of considering gender dynamics in discussions of mate selection and attractiveness. The discussion delves into the concept of stated and revealed preferences in mate selection. Murphy explains that people often state certain preferences in surveys or questionnaires, but their actual behaviors may reveal different priorities. He gives examples of studies where individuals claim to prioritize certain traits in a partner, but their actions suggest otherwise. This discrepancy between stated and revealed preferences underscores the complexity of human mate selection. Murphy acknowledges the challenges in studying human behavior, particularly when considering the influence of culture and individual experiences. He emphasizes the need to approach research with an open mind and consider multiple perspectives. While evolutionary psychology offers valuable insights into human nature, it is essential to complement this approach with an understanding of socio-ecological factors that shape behavior. Towards the end of the podcast, Murphy discusses his ongoing projects, including an app designed to improve relationships. The app incorporates scientific principles to help couples enhance their communication and strengthen their bond. By integrating research findings into practical tools, Murphy aims to support individuals in building healthier and more fulfilling relationships.